Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It was kind of an eventful news day the last 24 hours. Last video I recorded was yesterday afternoon when Israel and Iran were busy bombing each other. Trump declared that there was a ceasefire in the Middle East, and within 2 hours of his declaration, Israel and Iran were bombing each other. This probably falls under the guidance of he talked to both sides about a ceasefire, and regardless if they agreed to it or not, he went ahead and said they did. We've seen this before, and it was the most obvious example of it was when Trump was trying to pressure Mike Pence into suspending the counting of the electoral votes. He posted up on Twitter at the time that Mike Pence has agreed with Trump that he has that power. You know, even though Pence had never agreed to that and actually had actively told him the exact opposite, Trump put it out there that Pence agreed with him. And that puts pressure on Pence, because now if Pence doesn't do what Trump just said he agreed to do, Pence looks like he's waffled and changed his mind. Trump said he had a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran. I never saw a piece of paper. Never showed him. There was no, normally wouldn't he have like cameras around while they're signing the deal to show it was signed? The trust me bro approach doesn't really work. Now, does it? Now, of course, I don't think he got both sides to agree. But he said they agreed, hoping that would pressure them into not doing anything, which you saw how well that didn't work. And then today, I guess, when he was heading off to a NATO summit, he lost his mind and even dropped an F-bomb. How unpresidential, It's not like we've got candidate Dean running around saying he's going to win the presidency. Woo! Remember when that was non-presidential? Now you can be convicted of felony. Instead of, inhaling, now you can be convicted of 34 felonies and drop F-bombs. So that's all good. Cheat on your wife, the whole 9 yards. So then it was interesting that, and I think there was a lamentation about a Nobel Peace Prize. Apparently Ukraine withdrew today a nomination for Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize that they nominated him for back in November when he won the election, and said he was going to stop the war within 24 hours. Now I'm going to take you back here, if I can get through all these ads. 3 days ago on Newsweek, or over the weekend, the Trump administration was invited by the DRC president to help mediate an end in the conflict in eastern Congo between the government forces and rebels allegedly backed by Rwanda. A preliminary peace deal was reached on Wednesday, the previous Wednesday, about a week ago, with a formal signing expected next week in Washington. That would be the beginning of July. The agreement will be signed by the leaders of both countries and witnessed by Marco Rubio. This is a great day for Africa, and quite frankly, a great day for the world, Trump wrote. I won't get a Nobel Peace Prize for this, Trump added. Then he went on to list other negotiations he claimed his administration led, including stopping the war between Serbia and Kosovo and keeping the peace between Egypt and Ethiopia. I won't get a Nobel Peace Prize no matter what I do, including Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, but those outcomes may be, but people know. Or whatever those outcomes may be. But the people know, and that's all that matters to me. Sorry, quick pause there to pull up some information. So, he talks about Serbia and Kosovo. Oh, you mean the peace agreement signed in June of 1999? Apparently, Egypt and Ethiopia, the last time they were in war was 1874 to 1876. I mean, he also apparently didn't get credit when Attila the Hun signed a peace agreement with the Romans back in 434. If we're going to take it to its logical conclusion, let's just go there, shall we? He just doesn't get credit for anything he didn't do. How unfair is that? To not get credit for work you didn't do. This world is so picky. So, if you think for a second that he was being sarcastic, he's not smart enough to be sarcastic. He doesn't have a sense of humor. He never has. He never laughs. He smirks. He revels in the suffering of others. But have you ever seen him with a belly laugh? It's weird. It's absolutely what a broken human being. But, when he's talking, it's like, why are you bringing up Serbia and Kosovo? Why? Actually, hold on. Let me pause again because I want to see if somebody got a Nobel Peace Prize for that. Maybe that's what he's on about. Oh, poor Donald. A Norwegian lawmaker nominated Trump for the 2021 Peace Prize for the president's work for a peace agreement between the UAE and Israel. Also, for the Kosovo one, Serbian president and Kosovo prime minister signed an economic normalization deal at the White House back in 2020. And the Swedish parliament member tweeted that he nominated the three governments, United States, Kosovo, and Serbia, for a Nobel Peace Prize for the peace and stability that started back in 1999, when Trump had absolutely nothing to do with it. So I guess what Donald's upset about is that there are all these peace prizes being nominated and stuff, and he's not getting his trophy. He's not getting his medal. He's getting a certificate. He doesn't even deserve a certificate of participation. He wasn't there. He's bitter. You want to know why he's bitter? Because a black man before him who mocked him and made fun of him, Trump started it, of course, the whole birther thing, but mocked him, made fun of him, has Nobel Peace Prizes where Trump doesn't. And that just grinds on him. Gary and I did a reading that never got posted because Trump opted to bomb Iran, where Pakistan was going to nominate Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize just so long as he didn't bomb Iran, which, well, Trump did. That video never saw the light of day because literally Trump bombed Iran and the next day that video was going up. So we didn't bother putting it up because what's the point? But here we go. Donald's really upset that he gets a Nobel Peace Prize, and you have a 12-hour war, and then his idea of negotiations is telling Israel and Iran to, quote, knock it off, unquote. The same way he was going to handle Russia and Ukraine, and you can see how well that didn't work. Jesus. So let's look at the energy around Donald Trump's Nobel Peace Prize project recently with Israel and Iran. How are tensions going between those two countries? Entertainment purposes only. Here we go. We got the 9 of coins. Appreciating the wealth that you have. Crossed with more money. Generosity. Charity. And then underneath it is the Hermit card. Both countries are wealthy in their own way. But it's how they spend their money, where their money goes. Where Iran seems to spend money on non-state actors to cause problems for Israel, and then Israel spends all their money on defense and treating their neighbors like garbage because they know there's non-state actors out there looking for them. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. Israel can never relax because they're always under assault, but then Israel treats everyone around them like garbage, and that causes people to not like Israel, which makes them more susceptible to being radicalized against Israel. it's fear and opportunity coming underneath there. Although I'm wondering if this is the prize that Donald wants, and it's the prize he keeps not getting, and he's looking for a way to get it. So it's kind of a layered reading here. Let's keep with Israel and Iran, since that's the question I asked, and then we'll double back with the Trump energy as it relates to the Peace Prize. This is what he covets. This is what he can't get. He can't get enough people to show charity to him, so he's looking for different ways to do it. But Israel, Iran. In the past, 2 of coins, more coins, appreciation, how they're spending their money. I was talking about downward spiral, but the downward spiral isn't a slow spiral at the apex. It's moving down the funnel, and it speeds up as it gets closer towards the bottom of it. Current situation is the Queen of Cups. Emotions exploded for a few days. Maybe if they got it out of their system, they can calm down and relax a little bit there. But we'll see how that goes. Overarching energy is the 4 of Cups. I don't think either side's real happy with the other side right now. And if we talk about peace deals and how to get them to agree to it, neither one of them is particularly excited about the offer that's being presented. These are like 2 little kids that were fighting each other, and they're sitting cross-armed, sullen, glaring at the other one because they both blame the other one for starting the fight, and they want the other person to be severely punished, and they get off scot-free. There's no feeling of accountability of accountability for this. Now, that being said, I think Iran is, believe it or not, being portrayed in a much kinder light than Israel is, because Israel picked the fight. Lesson to be learned is the magician. But if you can calm down long enough, maybe there is going to be some room to talk and do something where an agreement's made. Outcome is the 9 of Cups. Both sides have the ability to peacefully coexist. It would help if Iran didn't occasionally repeat that they want to end the existence of Israel, and it would be helpful if Israel wouldn't preemptively strike, as they would put it, Iran. Plenty of room for everybody. Also, not happy with what Israel's doing to the Palestinians. Now, they're going after Hamas and Hezbollah, and those are groups that would be backed by Iran. So Iran's baiting the issue, as it were, and that's where they're not innocent by any stretch. But it's complex. This whole thing is complex. Now, looking at it, Trump wants that Nobel Peace Prize, and he can't find the charity to get it, but he keeps looking for it. It's almost like he's his worst enemy. Anytime he starts getting close, he does things to undermine his own work. Mind you, he hasn't done anything to deserve or warrant a Nobel Peace Prize. So that's why it stays dormant. You want this? No, you're not getting that. You're not even getting a participation trophy or a certificate of participation. He doesn't like that. So it's almost like he created this situation with Israel and Iran. I don't think he did, but he's opportunistic. If I do this, then I can get this. Just the same thing with Russia and Ukraine. His actions, especially his sniffing Putin's taint, has prevented him from getting that. I can stop that war in 24 hours. Yet he hasn't done it. His idea of stopping the war is to give Russia everything that they want because Daddy Putin. But he can't manifest. This is like the one thing he can't manifest. He can't manifest a Nobel Peace Prize no matter how hard he looks. The poor, poor little boy. Now, mind you, I still don't think he liked it when we were calling him chicken, taco. And he really didn't like his his military parade. Oh no, I'm sorry for those in the comments say, "Oh, it was the U.S. Army's 250th." Yeah, it was, but they weren't supposed to do a parade with tanks down the street, and that was all Trump. That's all things that Trump wanted, and it wasn't quite this goose-stepping ballistic missile driving party that Kim Jong-un gets to see, right? It was guys dressed up like World War II tankers waving to people, soldiers walking in a kind of loose formation rather than marching smartly. Malicious compliance is the word that you're looking for there, or description you're looking for there. Yeah, you can order us to do it, and we have to be here to do it, but we will follow that order in the sloppiest way possible. Will Trump get his Nobel Peace Prize? Or let's more to the point. How does Trump feel about his continual failure to get a Nobel Peace Prize? Or looking at that energy around Trump and his Nobel Peace Prize. 5 of coins. I don't think he's ever going to get one. He's never in consideration for it. Winner takes all. Because, in some ways, to get a Nobel Peace Prize, you have to transition from, there has to be winners and losers. You have to transition to somebody. Everybody gets something here. So we got 3 of Cups and 3 of Wands. Interesting. Got a pair of 3s and pair of 5s. And you got the 9 of Cups underneath there. He really does covet this. 5 of Coins. People being excluded. It's almost like the Nobel Peace Prize is excluding him on purpose. He will never win. They will never let him win. And again, Nobel Peace Prizes, looking around the world here. There's always opportunities. There's more opportunities for him. Trump just doesn't have the mentality for it. He actually, believe it or not, and I know sacrilege here, he probably could negotiate a peace. He seems to be able to play people off on each other rather well, but he's always used it for destructive purposes. And a peace agreement is a constructive endeavor, not a destructive endeavor. So it's like asking somebody whose job and career it's been that demos buildings to suddenly ask them to build a building. He doesn't know how to build anything. He only knows how to destroy things. So for him to win a Nobel Peace Prize it's not in his skill set. And he never learned the skills he needed to be able to do something like that. Spiritual lesson. And we'll wrap it up here. So it's almost 20-minute reading long. Spiritual weapon from Trump's Nobel Peace Prize pursuit as we currently go through it. Queen of Pentacles. It's caring about people and their basic needs. Intergenerational wealth, DNA. 3 of Wands. Opportunities awaiting. King of Cups, emotional maturity. In the Tower. It's interesting. In some ways, to have the skills for a Nobel Peace Prize, you have to be concerned about people when their lives come crashing down. And oftentimes, it's overseas. It's not in your home country. You have to go looking for it. It helps if you're bringing a lot of money and aid to it. You have to share your resources. You have to show compassion and empathy. This is the part that kills Trump. He's got the resources, but he's greedy. He won't ever share them. He doesn't have compassion, empathy. He's immature. He's childish. The opportunities could be there for him. When disaster strikes, are you there to provide practical help? Look at what he's doing with FEMA in the United States. He's basically trying to defund it and get rid of it. And what's going to happen when there's natural disasters in states, whether it's hurricanes hitting the areas between Texas and Florida and up the eastern seaboard, whether it's tornadoes going through the flyover states, whether it's wildfires in California or earthquakes in California, or wildfires in the Pacific Northwest. No, all sorts of opportunities to help, but he doesn't want to spend the money. He has no empathy. I mean, obviously, if we raked our forests in California, we would never have wildfires. Well, there's no helping some people. He can wish for that Nobel Peace Prize. I'd like to play basketball in the NBA, but I'm 60 years old. I can't jump and I can't hit a shot. I can barely dribble. Not exactly the skill set needed. I can want it all I want, but too bad. You ain't gonna win it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.